Let's call the meeting of the Fiscal Court to order. We appreciate all of you being here this morning. Have a rather long agenda, but I think we'll be able to get through it in a timely manner. First order of business, you know, it's always a pleasure when you can say thank you to someone who has gone out of their way to be helpful to county government. And Lavetta Marsh, when we were trying to identify all of our one-room schools and mark them, and the county, Lavetta just went out of her way to help with this. Lavetta works downstairs in our archives. They have done so much, the group that works there, to preserve records that otherwise would have been lost. When they first started their work, I don't know how many boxes you guys have gone through that were on the floor, just stored in the old jail downstairs. Now, when you talk about people working under the jail, they're there in the old jail downstairs and have done a remarkable job. Lavetta, if you would come forward, please. We would like to present Lavetta with the Kentucky Colonelcy Award. This is from Governor Steve Beshear. To all to whom these present shall come greeting, know ye that the Honorable Lavetta Marsh is commissioned a Kentucky Colonel, thereby conveys this honor with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and thereto appertaining. Governor Steve Beshear, Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Now, give you a little background. Lavetta's husband, Bob, and I have been friends for many years. Bob was a policeman here in the city of Benton when I was growing up, if that tells you anything. Bob was so kind to us young people that I'll always think of him as a dear friend. But Lavetta, with this honor, Bob now has to salute you in the morning, at lunch, and at night. Congratulations. Next on the agenda, we have Randy Newcomb, our illustrious tourism director. And last evening, I was with Randy. We have about, what, 160?
Right at 160 outdoor riders.
Outdoor riders from several states that are here visiting Kentucky and staying at Kentucky Dam. And our Tourism Commission is hosting this group. And last night was a pleasure to meet so many of them from all over the country, and hopefully they'll write good things about Marshall County.
We're hoping.
So Randy?
Okay, I'll start off by giving you a little information about our globe before we get into the branding. We do have 160 riders and national media sponsors at Kentucky Dam Village, and they came in as early as last Friday. And we started their week off with their own FLW fishing tournament Saturday morning out of Moores. So some of the riders were paired up with some FLW pros, and they went out and got to fish the lake. And like we do in Marshall County, we welcomed them with about 50-degree weather on the water that morning. After 2 days earlier, it was in the 80s. But they had a great time. They caught fish, and then we have activities for them until they leave on Friday. And so last night we had Tim Farmer from Kentucky Afield. He did a program for them. The judge was there, and they've had nothing but outstanding things to say about Marshall County, and they're very pleased with everything from their accommodations at Kentucky Dam Village to the meals, and we're sure that's going to continue out throughout the week. But they're here. This afternoon, they're actually going to Calvert City Gun Club. And to tell you some of the stuff we had to do to actually get this conference here, they needed a place for a shooting afternoon. Well, we have Calvert City Gun Club. You can use your shotguns, you can use a pistol, but they didn't have a rifle range. So tourism, we decided we needed this conference, so we built and we helped pay for a rifle range at Calvert City Gun Club. So now they have a rifle range at the Calvert City Gun Club. And we did it because that's what the writers wanted, so that's what the writers got. So hopefully we're gonna get a lot of good coverage from this. But they will be in Calvert City today. They'll be at Ken Lake tonight for a dinner, sponsored by Dodge. Tomorrow night, they're having their awards banquet at Kentucky Dam Village, sponsored by Chevrolet. And then they have other national sponsors taking care of Thursday as well. But they're here for the week, and they're enjoying themselves. Now, branding. Wanted to give you some survey results. One of the main things we get from our branding initiative is the information. And over 1,300 interviews, participants in focus groups, one-on-one interviews, and surveys were completed. So over 1,300. And that's from local Marshall County citizens, from people in Western Kentucky, and visitors who've come to Marshall County in the past. The results, I'll go over what the citizens of Marshall County said first. And this is what the citizens of Marshall County think. When they asked, describe Marshall County, we described it as friendly, beautiful, safe, clean, and boring. Okay? What are Marshall County's most famous assets? Overwhelming, it was Kentucky Lake and Kentucky Dam. Now here is the interesting question. What do outsiders think of Marshall County? This is our local people. We ask them, what do outsiders think of us? We think that others think of us as racist, backwards, friendly, a lake area, rednecks, and rural. Now I must let you know that racist came up in 3% of the surveys. 97% of the respondents did not even mention that. That's 3%. But it's such a sore subject, it's such a negative terminology that we have to bring it up. I could have hidden it and just said, no, we're not going to talk about that, but you need to bring it up. It's there, the perception is there from our local people that that's what other people think of us. We don't think we are, but we think other people think we are, okay? Adjectives that best describe Marshall County, we say we're rural, old-fashioned, prideful, and a lake community. Let's see. What do people appreciate in Marshall County? We appreciate our schools. We have very good schools, and we think we do. We appreciate our rural atmosphere, and we appreciate Kentucky Lake. What do people in Marshall County think unites us? Very simply, sports and schools. If it's something to do with Marshall County sports, it unites the community, and our schools and our good schools unite us. What do we think our biggest challenges are? Jobs, complacency, the wet-dry issue, and being small-town minded. What are our biggest opportunities? Wet-dry, tourism, the lake, and business growth and expansion. And these are the results from our local Marshall County residents that filled out the survey. In the interviews and focus groups, they did several focus groups, many of you were part of, and one-on-one interviews. The focus groups described Marshall County as friendly, supportive, good education, and a beautiful lake area. They said our assets were our education system, the industrial park, the lake, the people, and recreation. What are we most known for? According to our focus groups and leaders, we're known for our Kentucky Lake and our chemical industry. What makes Marshall County appealing for business? Our location, our rivers, roads, rails, and our cheap power. And what are the obstacles? Wet-dry issue, lack of updated amenities, and lack of perceived cooperation. They don't perceive a lot of cooperation among cities, county, and other leaders. What makes us proud? The schools and our people. So that's from our focus group. That's what our focus group thinks of Marshall County. Then we went to the Western Kentucky. And when I say Western Kentucky survey, these are the counties surrounding Marshall, the adjacent counties. That's where all of these results came from. We asked them, describe Marshall County. Rural, chemical plants, friendly, dry, racism, churches, and rednecks. Once again, 3% of the survey, that racism did come up. Then we asked, How would you best describe Marshall County? Overwhelming response was Marshall County is a lake community. What are our greatest assets? People in Western Kentucky said our two greatest assets are Kentucky Lake and Kentucky Dam. Number one answer when they ask what is Marshall County's reputation to outsiders of Marshall County, we are the home of Kentucky Lake. What makes Marshall County distinct? Kentucky Lake, the chemical plants, and our abundance of water. Now here, the most frequently written responses to Marshall County's reputation to outsiders, and this is from the surrounding counties: dry, behind the times, and racism. And here's how I look at this. Even though it's 3% of the survey, and I described this last week in a meeting when I spoke, if you've got a child in high school and they're continually going around high school saying, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I have no friends, and they continually say it, guess what? The people around them are going to say what? Okay, you're stupid, you're ugly, you have no friends. We tend to, the perception's been there, the racism perception's been there for years. And I was having a conversation yesterday with a gentleman who said, one of the first things that someone said to me is, by the way, people think this is how we are. Well, we continue to bring it up. So I was asked the question last week, what do you do about it? And I was unprepared because this is a study about perceptions. It's not a study of how we solve negative problems. It's a study about perceptions. So I contacted our consulting firm, and they said you could do one of two things. They said, simply, you can focus on the positives that are coming out of this survey, which is 97% of the results. Focus on the positives and continue on and go with your brand. He said, but the perception will possibly still linger on and be there because it's been there for years. He said, or you can do something to take it forward. And said, form a task force or a group, a coalition, whatever you want to call it, of leaders in the community and take these negative perceptions and start taking steps to see what we can do to minimize those. And it could take a while, but those are the options we could do if we want to face it head on. So, like I said, 3% of the survey results of this came up, the other 97% it did. So that's the Western Kentucky study. Any questions about the local or Western Kentucky? Okay. Then we sent out a questionnaire and surveys to our people who've been here before. Some of our resorts were very kind enough to share their list of visitors with us who've come in the past, and they sent out surveys to them. They described us as outdoors, picturesque, beautiful, relaxing, friendly, serene, peaceful, great fishing, and fun. They just said we are not. Now, there are three things they said Marshall County is not: vibrant, historic, or artistic. We asked, what cities do you think of when asked about Kentucky Lake? Overwhelming number one city when asked, Grand Rivers. Number two is Benton. Number three was Aurora. What makes Kentucky Lake stand out when evaluating other communities they wanted to visit? Number one thing that made them change or choose us was our fishing, followed by Land Between the Lakes. The fact that we have both Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley here, the two lakes, were third, followed by the resorts and our beauty. And so those are some of the results we have from the survey. And I'll tell you what it talks about and how we led to, by the way, you're going to find out what our brand promise and everything is in just a few minutes. The branding truths that came from this is, without question, Kentucky Lake is our greatest asset. It affects our lifestyles, our economy, and it's the driver of our identity. Like, if you remember, a few weeks ago we came in and we actually changed our name to the Kentucky Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau. That's one of the two recommendations they've already given us. The other recommendation is they would like to see, they think in the future, they would like to see a visitor center at I-24, I-69 there in Calvert. Because they said that's where the majority of your people are coming into the county, and that's where we need a big presence to tell them what we have in our area. Another truth, Marshall County sees itself as rural, old-fashioned, and prideful area with the lake. We also place a very strong priority on family, faith, and the school system. The lingering divisive issues are a perceived lack of action in wet-dry issue and zoning. They see there's a lack of cooperation, that we're unwilling to change and bring new opportunities. Marshall County residents have bittersweet nostalgia when talking about the way it used to be. In fact, they said every single person they interviewed talked about the way it used to be. But then he followed up and he says, but you have to remember, we're never going to be the way we used to be because times have changed. But we can get to that same level of enjoyment and that same economic level we once had. Outsiders also see the opportunity and beauty that comes with owning Kentucky Lake and the dam is our strategic location. Some other things, Marshall County needs Calvert City because it's the economic engine. It's the connection to the transportation resources with railway, interstate, and waterway. And it's the northern area where we can have a welcome center. Marshall County also needs Benton because its downtown charm could be the foundation for events, shopping, and personal connections. They would like to see Benton actually become Kentucky Lake's downtown. That's what they said Benton needs to focus on, become Kentucky Lake's downtown. So when people that visit the lake want to go to a downtown area, first thing they should think of is Benton, Kentucky. If people want to be at a community on Kentucky Lake, they should be thinking about Calvert City. And that's when we get our brand navigator at the end, the 2 to 3 year plan, that's the way it's going to focus those two areas. And Marshall County needs Kentucky Lake. It's the connector to of our past, the industry, our nostalgia, positive associations, and it's our distinction. It's our story, Kentucky Lake is. So what they came out was by embracing and claiming and connecting with Kentucky Lake, Marshall County becomes beautiful, relaxing, peaceful, friendly, nostalgic, fun, scenic, and engaging. It gives Marshall County businesses something to cooperate, connect to, and stand out. It gives us our economy. It gives us cheap energy, big industry, and tourism revenue. It allows visitors and residents to go fishing, camping, hunting, boating, hiking, birding, zip lining, and so much more. And it enables families to disconnect from technology and connect with each other to enjoy affordable, quality family time. And that's one of the big themes that you'll see in the future with our advertising. We want to let people know that by coming here, they can disconnect from every day and reconnect with what matters, which is your family and the outdoors. So our brand platform is simple. Our target is businesses, families, and outdoor lovers. Marshall County is a transportation passageway in western Kentucky which offers beauty, energy, and lifestyle built around the shores of Kentucky Lake, so your life is always connected to what matters. So that's the survey results. That's our brand platform and where we started to go to kind of get what our brand is going to be. So from that, a few weeks ago, they gave us a couple of options on ideas they had that would be really good for us to take forward. And the committee got together, and what we had decided is we chose option number 2. I won't tell you what option number 1 is because it's out of the picture now. So option 2 was Kentucky Lake, the South's Great Lake. And the reason is, playing off the Great Lakes, is the lake has sheer size, miles of shoreline, a huge expanse of water surface area. Although it's quiet, the lake is too big and important to be ignored. This concept elevates Kentucky Lake to a new playing field. It leverages the known equity of the Great Lakes. Whether for fishing, recreation, or ports of freight, this concept projects the idea of a new Great Lake in the South. It tells us why Kentucky Lake is the South's Great Lake. We're basically coming out and saying, we're the greatest lake in the South. And we are. We're the largest man-made lake in the South. We're the biggest, we're the best, we have the best of everything. And he said, if you want to be bold, go out there and say it. And so we're going to say it. And that's what we're doing. Right now we're in the creative process. We're actually coming up with logos and ads and all that good stuff, which, by the way, is the smallest portion of this entire branding initiative, but it will take the longest amount of time. We've been working on logos. It's been a month already, And we've already sent them back, and they're redoing and everything. So once we get those, I'll share that with you. And then after that is when each partner will get their playbook, their brand navigator, and give you a 2 to 3 year plan on how we take this new brand and move forward. It will show Calvert City how they can become the community on Kentucky Lake. It will show Benton how it can become Kentucky Lake's downtown. And little things that we can do and work together with economic development, chamber, tourism, fiscal court, and all the cities, and harden and work all together. One of the things we're gonna do as soon as all the conferences are over, I'm developing a barbecue trail, a Kentucky Lake barbecue trail. And it's the first thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect every restaurant in Marshall County and up and down Kentucky Lake in a trail, sort of kind of mimic it off the Bourbon Trail or several other trails. I know in Lexington area right now, they're coming up with a Kentucky horse trail, the horse farms. So trails are really big, and so we're gonna do our own. And that will be able to tie in restaurants, which we can tie in every part of our community and every part of Marshall County. So we're doing that. So that's our brand, that's the focus we're going with. Do you have any questions about the research? And by the way, this entire presentation that he gave us was over 2 hours long. I have statistics in here that will just make your eyes roll back in your head because it's so detailed, the stuff they tell you. They tell you what type of products we buy in Marshall County, what brands we like in Marshall County. We don't buy foreign vehicles. We buy American-made stuff, the types of restaurants we eat at. And they got all this from research and data that they received. So it's quite an extensive survey, but I wanted to give you guys the highlights of what helps make our brand. Any questions?
I think it's exciting.
Any questions? Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
And good luck with the rest of the week with all the riders. I know it's gonna be a
It's
long week, but it's fun.
It's been a slow day so far. I've been to Calvert City, the dam, and Ken Lake before I came here, so
Slow day.
it's a slow day.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, next we have some members from the Benton Economic Development Group that are here. Mac, are you gonna be the spokesman?
Yes, sir, Judge.
All right, sir.
Yeah, I'm Mac McDonald with what we now call ourselves is the City of Benton Committee. We're actually reorganizing ourselves from the old Benton Main Street. If you look behind me, you'll see some of our members here that formerly were known as the Benton Main Street Group. We decided that because we're now getting more inclusive, just like Randy's referring to our branding thing, we're looking at how Benton interacts with the rest of Marshall County and what it has to offer. And we're proud to be literally now calling ourselves Kentucky Lake's Downtown. So we're already using that in some of our advertising and our promotion. So anything that we communicate, we're already referring to ourselves as Kentucky Lake's Downtown. So we're happy to be a part of that. But you know, as we looked at our particular geography, as we looked at our limitations as a Main Street program, it was fairly limited to the square and just a little area around the square. So we decided to actually reconstitute ourselves and make our footprint broader so that anybody in the city of Benton has a say and has a voice and has a seat and is invited to work with us to make Benton a greater city, but also as a greater city as a part of a greater Marshall County. So in that idea of inclusiveness, what we have now done is we've affiliated ourselves on a formal basis and informal basis with CADA, the Calvert Area Development Group. We have members that regularly attend their meetings. We share our minutes with them, for example. We also have members of our committee that are working with the Friends of Kentucky Dam Village State Park in its reorganizing efforts. Lloyd and Ann Riley and I and Roger Colburn are leading that particular reorganizing effort now. So what we're showing you is that the folks in Benton are now working in the state park. They're working with Calvert City. We're all working together to try to make Marshall County a lot stronger, not only in the eyes of the outside world, but also to our own citizens. And one of the ways that we need to continue to do that is to promote to our citizens why it's fun, why it's important to be engaging yourself in the City of Benton activities. So, you know, we worked with the chamber. We were very active in the branding reports and the branding meetings. We've done some new things recently to upgrade the Christmas parade, the Dickens event. The Dickens event, for example, this year is going to be a 2-day event with the Friday night, December the 12th, before the Christmas parade and the Dickens event on the 13th. We're going to have the first performance by the Marshall County Children's Arts Center group called I'm Not Scrooge. So it's going to be a kind of a comedic introduction to our Christmas weekend. As you recall, many of you recall, we installed lighting around the square last year. We're intending to improve and expand on that this year. We're already having some meetings. David Puckett is the chairman of our lighting committee on that particular effort. We're doing some other things that are new and exciting as well. One of the things that I brought with me, you're seeing some around town, would be our poster that is announcing our inaugural progressive party called Benton's Progressive Party. It says, "Progress with us for an outrageous adventure." The idea is that, as you know, we're very proud of the Arts Center and the impact that it's already made and it is going to make. But what we're also knowing is that we want to help continue to raise funds so that the Arts Commission can pay down its debt. So one of the things that our committee has come up with is a 7-stop progressive party where we're going to start and stop actually at the Marshall County Arts Commission building and progress from there in various locations, where in each location you'll have live entertainment, food and beverages, and we have the trolley from Grand Rivers and probably another trolley that will be engaged to carry people around to this one-night event. The event is Thursday, October the 16th. I'll give you a couple of dates. It starts at 5:30. So the idea is that for one price, you get to, number one, be with a lot of your friends and neighbors, have a great time, spend the whole evening in some of the new places in downtown Benton that many people haven't been to. For example, Leon Riley's new showroom is one of the stops. McCulley's Autos is another one where a lot of people have been around McCulley's for a long time, since they've been here 20 plus years, but a lot of people don't know about that museum that they have. So we're throwing in some things like that. We're obviously starting and ending at the Arts Center because we want everybody to see how much has been done at the Arts Center and how proud we are of that particular asset to the city of Benton, but also Marshall County. So some of the other things that we look forward to doing more of is more outdoor activities. We've had a very successful season for the Benton Cruise-In. I know many of you have attended that cruise-in. It's been a very successful event for us, brought a whole lot of people from outside the state and outside the region to our city and our county. They've driven the roads of Marshall County coming to and from. It's been very successful. And so there's some of those things that we've done, but we want to try to do more to improve the quality of the experience. And one of the things that we've always wrestled with around the square is, because of the physical nature of the square, if we have live outdoor entertainment over there by City Hall, if somebody's on the other side of the square, they can't hear anything. So one of the things we've been working on for the past few months is how can we put something together that the city and the county can use on a regular basis, not just for an event like the car cruise, but think about during the Christmas season, think about National Prayer Day, think about the Veterans Flag Day ceremonies, think about anything that happens with the Christmas parade or Tater Day or anything where we need to have more ability to communicate to the masses that are around the square. Also, the judge brought up, when I discussed that with him, what if we do have an emergency? What if we have a situation where we have a large public gathering and there are storm clouds looming in the distance? How can we physically get the word out as soon as possible, as opposed to calling the sheriff and the police department just trying to get them to herd people somewhere? So we've come up with an outdoor speaker proposal. We worked for a number of months on this. Chris Gerard, local pastor here, also been in the sound and music business for years, had worked with this group that actually did the Chamber of Commerce headquarters in Paducah with their audio-visual equipment there. And So we started talking with this group. They actually engaged an audio design firm out of Nashville to come up with an outdoor speaker system that would be very functional, yet very affordable, and also expandable as we grow forward in our needs for more outdoor speakers, outdoor sound. Generally speaking, if you just view this piece of paper as the courthouse, we'd put speakers all the way around the perimeter of the courthouse and also extend over to Memorial Park. So we would have speakers on the courthouse pointing outwards. We'd have Memorial Park wired for, and have the speakers sitting there for outdoor events there. But also, for example, if we need to expand down to Puckett's area, we have the ability to add on repeaters and amplifiers and get speaker capability all the way down there. So what we were proposing to the city and the county, and fortunately we were able to get the unanimous support of the city council last night at their meeting, to jointly fund the cost of these speakers. I've got details, and I'll be happy to share that with anybody now or later, but the total cost for the installation and the equipment is $14,535.34. And the idea is that the speakers will be located outside, but some of the amplification equipment, some of the control equipment, some of the access equipment will be located inside the courthouse and also under lock and key. There will be limited access to the equipment by members of, for example, the city, the county, sheriff, police, depending on the particular needs. But we have the ability to, with that equipment, do some of our own programming to help other people if they need some of our help. Like, for example, we've always had kind of a difficult time for announcers during the Tater Day Parade or the Christmas Parade. So some of these things will really be substantially improved. And from your standpoint as a visitor, if you're coming down to Benton, if you hear good music and you're not strained to hear something that somebody's trying to say, that improves your overall experience. So we're excited about this. As I say, your share would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $7,300. And what we're asking that the fiscal court approve this and allow us to move forward. It will take us about a month from today, assuming that you approve that, to order the equipment and have it installed. We will be working with the city, the power department, the county, to make sure that all of that is done in conjunction and coordination with the right people. So that's the generic part of our proposal. One of the things I did want to tell you is we have probably some other things that we're going to be announcing. One of the things that we're wanting to start working on for next year, two things really. One, we'd like to expand big singing. We've already started laying some of the groundwork for that. That involves the courthouse, and in so doing, we also want to be a part of the celebration next year for the centennial of the courthouse. So we're already thinking ahead to how can we use this kind of system and use our volunteer efforts to do more to highlight what we're proud of here, not only for Benton, but also the Marshall County Courthouse. So that gives you some ideas of why we're doing some of the things that we're doing. Two important dates that we do want to mention while we're here, and we do have some of these posters here if anybody wants to pick one up. The ribbon cutting for the Art Center is September 25th at 5 o'clock. Everybody knows where that is. And the grand opening of the Art Center is October 26th at 2. If I covered everything, anybody else think of anything else we need? Oh yeah, and I've got one in my pocket. Board members and City Hall people, we do have tickets that are available for our progressive party. So you can see one of us, and we'll be glad to give you some more information and detail on that. So I think that's the scope of our presentation, but we always appreciate the opportunity to work with the fiscal court, and we have a pretty dedicated group of volunteers that are now reaching beyond the square and hopefully helping other people in Marshall County. Lloyd and I will be working together some more on some of the grant prospects on the trail signage. And I don't know whether you're gonna give a report later on the trail signage or not, but at the appropriate time in old business, I can get up and tell you some of the things that we're doing as the Friends of Kentucky Dam Village Park.
When Mike and I first talked about this at the last cruise-in, we were going over some of the benefits of having a speaker system on the square so that everybody could hear, whether you're on that side of the square or you're right in front of the stage. And like Max said, if you've got entertainment going on the stage, if you're on this side of the square or just down the street a little bit, can't hear it. And we thought about also, as Mac pointed out, it could be used for impending storms, tornado warnings, anything like that. So I would recommend that we participate with the city of Benton in the amount of $7,300 to install these speakers around the court square, or on the courthouse.
Make a motion, Judge.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Bob Gifford?
Judge, I have a draw request. This is on the Fund B money in the amount of $1,865. This is to Paul Cloud Engineering. This is for engineering work on Jack Treese Road. It's where that we agreed to, there's a church down there that said that they would put the lines in if we would pay for the pipe and the engineering, so this is just part of that cost. Again, $1,865.
You've heard the request. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the request, Judge.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Let me give you an update about where we are with our monies, what we have left with Fund B. We've got about $175,000 left right now. $100,000 of that we have earmarked for a pumping station to boost the pressure in the olive tank. We're waiting on the city of Benton to get us a piece of property that's suitable.
Wait a minute, it won't be the olive tank.
Oak level.
It'll be the
I'm
oak
sorry,
level
yeah,
tank.
Oakland, yeah,
Oak level.
yeah, olive Oakland, yeah, right, sorry. Anyway, we're waiting on them to secure a piece of property for this. I've got committed about, for the pipe for this Jack Treese Road, for, A-Rant to J.B. Copeland, and another small area in Calvert City that they've agreed to, if I buy the material, that, they'll put the lines in. So these have all been engineered. We're ready to go. But I kind of wanted to wait until I had a bid for my pumping station in case there's a cost overrun and I might have to cut somebody back a little.
The area we would like to go into an agreement with the city of Benton is located out by the hospital, but it's actually owned by the city of Benton.
Yes.
There was some discussion of if the hospital would allow us to do that. I called our hospital administrator and one of the board members, and they have no objection whatsoever. In fact, they said, we don't own the property, the city does. So the property is there, it's already fenced, be a perfect place for what we want to do. So we're hoping we'll get an agreement with the city of Benton and save that cost of having to buy any property to make this improvement.
After this Fund B money is gone, that's all that I have for water projects. In looking at the overall plan, I have 3 other hydraulic necessities in the county. And when I say hydraulic necessities, I mean I've got an adequate supply for any other road you want to run off of. The other things I need to complete are the Wadesboro, the Brewers Wind down to Wadesboro, completion of Wadesboro Road, to loop that all back together. To strengthen the old West Marshall system, I need to run from J.B. Copeland Road on down to Simpsonia Road. And to strengthen the lower end of Jonathan Creek, I need to finish Kirk Road. Those projects are about $1.75 million to complete. Now, we know that the legislative budget was last year, so we're 2 years away from there, but the majority of the monies we've used have dried up. So I'm gonna refocus on what we have existing from this point on. Lots of the monies that we can apply for require matching funds of some type. Well, it's not really our water system, it's the cities or the district system, but I really don't have anywhere to go other than some places got matching funds. I did just a quick number. On average, if you put a mile of pipe in, you can do it for somewhere between $100,000 and $125,000 per mile. If you have 10 households per mile on there, it can pay for itself. But if you have less than that, it will not. It won't cover the debt service that it would take to extinguish this. That doesn't include, that they still have to pay for the pumping and stuff, but it can work out and it can pay for itself. But our problem is, we have so many roads left that don't have 10 customers per mile. So,
In fact, that's the most of them that we've looked at, Bob, you
Yes.
and I've talked about.
yes, it is. And so that's why that the cities and the districts don't look at going and doing these, because it won't pay for itself. So I'm gonna try to put together something for you all in a month that will give you an idea of, I'm gonna go back and revisit every funding place I've been. And I'm gonna ask if we do it this multi-jurisdictional, whatever the case may be that may allow us to get in and do this. It's like rural development, the city of Benton is not grant eligible. So we couldn't do an RD project out there. Or you could, but it'd be a straight loan, you wouldn't be able to participate in the 30% grant. It's like the old Gilbertsville area, we could use the CDBG down there because the low to moderate income level is higher down there. And I have plans for next year of doing a self-help program down there and replace the lines that need to be replaced down there. But I'm gonna revisit everything we've got, and then come up with some other suggestions for you all to, but it's gonna take a partnership between, the districts and the court and the cities. Somebody has to assume responsibility for the debt that's almost gonna be positive, because there's not 100% financing out there anymore.
Any questions of Bob? Thank you. About a month ago, I suppose it was about a month ago, Mr. Ward Butler, who had been handling the transportation for our veterans to go to the hospital in Marion, Illinois, or to visit the Paducah branch, well, to be honest with you, Ward was just worn out. He had gotten down that he was the only driver and the only person doing it, and he said, I just can't do it anymore. We certainly appreciate Ward and all the work he did. Call Robert Chandler from our American Legion post, because we feel like this is a very valuable service to our veterans, not only in Marshall County, but in Western Kentucky. This is a joint effort of all of the counties in Western Kentucky. And Robert, you want to tell them where we're at this point?
Yes, sir. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you this morning. I've been very busy. I've been to Frankfurt last week. I've been to Marion twice. I've got to go back to Shepherdsville, and I'm going to Marion in the morning. And here's what I've got. The VA has, Kevin gave me the keys last week to the Marshall County van. I have been to Marion. I know we're paying insurance on the van and gas. I have now, what I've got to do, I get to sign this van over to the VA in the morning, and they're gonna pay the insurance for the van, they're gonna license the van, they're gonna give me a credit card for gas, so the fiscal court in the county won't have this problem anymore. I've already got 2 other drivers and myself lined up, and so we'll be ready to go. Matter of fact, I took one last week, and then I got a phone call from 911 dispatch last week, and I had to take a young man all the way, 82-year-old Marine that was not gonna be handcuffed. Samantha called me, wanted to know if I'd come talk to him. I did. I went and talked to him. He had dementia. He couldn't find, he didn't know where he lived. I talked to him about Vietnam, and finally he gave me his driver's license. I gave him Samantha, and we found out where he lived, and I took him home last week, all the way to Sparta, Tennessee. It took me 9 hours to get him home. He had to stop and eat breakfast. Then he said, I'm sleepy. I pulled over and let him sleep. And then he got hungry at supper, and I let him eat supper. But I finally got him home. But this van now, I've got the keys, and I'm gonna sign it over to Marion in the morning. It's gonna take all day. I'll have to go up there, got to inspect the van. But I have got 2 other drivers and myself already lined up. So the van, I've already got it set up. We're gonna be running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Any veteran needs to go to Marion or to Paducah, I'll have the phone number. I've already talked to AT&T. They're gonna give me a 100 number. It won't cost anything. They're gonna give me 2 cell phones. But boy, the biggest thing was they're gonna take the van, they're gonna pay the insurance, and tomorrow I'll get a gas card. So that's gonna help me out. I've already spent $200 for gas, but that's okay. I don't mind doing. But we've got everything set up, and as far as I know, we don't have any problem anymore with this van from Marshall County. Terry's gonna help me too. But that's all I got. Any questions? Anybody got any questions? I'll be glad to answer any questions for you. But the van will be given to them. I'm still gonna have the keys and everything. And I will tell you one other thing. We don't have a GPS in the van. For example, Wayne Henson called me the other day. I had to take him to Marion Monday, last Monday, a week ago today. Today's Tuesday, isn't it? Today Monday? Tuesday, last Monday. I was down in Nashville all day yesterday trying to get, but anyway, last Monday, Wayne Henson calls. He needs to go to Marion, and he wants to know if I can pick him up at his house. I never found his house. He lives behind his brother Buell in a camper. Bless his heart. We get up there and to Marion, and I asked him, I said, you need travel pay, don't you? I don't get travel pay, do I? And I said, I'm pretty sure. I took him into travel pay, and they wanted to know how much he made a year. I felt so sorry for him. He said, I make almost $6,000 a year. $6,000 a year, and he's living in a camper. I just couldn't take no money from him. I'm serious. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't take money from this man. But I never found him. So we've come up with a solution. If any veteran in Marshall County or Western Kentucky needs to go to Marion, I'm going to meet them at Walmart parking lot, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That way I don't have to have a GPS and find their home. I never found him. So I'm going to put it on radio, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. We're going to put it on radio, and if anybody veteran needs to go, I'll just meet at Walmart parking lot. And if they can't get there, then I'll buy a GPS or something and I'll find them. But I'd rather meet at Walmart parking lot. And I've already told my riders it's only 5 hours. I'm going to make all the appointments. I've already talked to Marion VA, and they said if they'll make the appointments from 9 to 11. And we're going to make them from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. We leave at 8, and we should be back by 12:30. So the guy's just 4.5 hours a day. That's all I got. Kevin?
I may have a GPS for you, so just see me.
Well, bless your heart. Thank you, buddy. Any questions?
No.
Okay, I'll take my noisy grandson.
I need two motions. Number one, to give Robert the authority on our behalf to turn that van over to the VA. And second, to reimburse him out of our funds of $200 for the gas he's already been out.
Make a motion, Judge.
Have a motion. Is there a second? Don't argue with me, Robert. Motion and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Robert. This is a service that really is needed, and I appreciate our American Legion so much.
Judge,
Yes.
I do want to say what he mentioned the other day. He did this and didn't have to as far as taking that gentleman to Sparta, Tennessee, as far as he did, because this gentleman was confused, didn't know where he was. And we called upon him, and without hesitation, he come to help this man out, and I just want to recognize you for that, Robert, and thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Steve.
Appreciate it so much. All right, do we have anybody else to address the court this morning? Marty?
I'm here on behalf of the City County Industrial Development Authority. We met with some representatives of the bondholders for that project out here, we referred to as Fleetwood in the past, but as you know, that project has been in some jeopardy for some period of time. We're trying to work with the bondholders to actually work that situation out. We met with them on, I think it was Tuesday of last week. They've come up with a plan to try to market that, and they asked that we give some consideration to cleaning that up. It would take some effort on using the city employees and some of our equipment. We'd also need some help from the county with some of your equipment, maybe some of your employees. What we'd like to do is clean that whole area up out there, and then they're gonna bring in a national marketing firm out of Nashville that's gonna try to promote that and get it sold. And we think it'll benefit us all because it'll put it back on the tax rolls if we can get it sold. And at least we'll start getting some tax revenue out of it. As it sits right now, we're not able to do anything with it, so. What I'd like for you all, if you would, to approve the use of the county's equipment and some of your employees out there in the cleanup.
And this is property that's owned by the
Benton.
Industrial,
Yeah.
Marshall County Benton Industrial Foundation, so, we're not, breaking the law by doing this. We met with those folks, and of course, as most of you know, we tried for years to get control of the property ourselves, and, kept hitting obstacle after obstacle. So now they say they wanna bring in a marketing firm, but to have something to look at, it really needs to be cleaned up, and if there's no objection, I'll ask Russell to meet with the city, and we'll work jointly, and I do mean jointly, to clean this property up.
Well, that firm that they're talking with is gonna send a representative up here to take a look at it, and he's gonna have some suggestions on some things that we could do. I think we're not talking about spending any money
No.
out there other than for employee time and labor. And anything beyond that, we'd have to come back and talk to you about
Yeah.
anyway.
Do I have a motion to allow that?
Make a motion,
Russell to
Judge.
work with him. I have a motion by Squire Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Squire Gold. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Thank
Any
you.
opposed, no. Motion carries. Anybody else to address the court? Let's move into correspondence. The Kentucky Employee Health Insurance Benefit Program. Emily attended a meeting last week on the Kentucky Employees Health Program regarding the 2015 health insurance. The state will not yet release the rates or benefit guide, but we've been told that there were only slight or insignificant changes made to them. We can't say for certain what insignificant means exactly. We feel like it's good news. Now, for the past several years, going outside the state plan would have cost us about $500,000 extra. So, I don't see insignificant of being anywhere near that much. So what we want to know, if we again choose to go with the state plan, then we need to let our carrier, Peel and Holland, know, or if we want them to pursue rates from other companies. I think the state plan will be the most economical, but that decision's up to the court. What do you think?
Shouldn't we at least have them to, I mean, what does it cost for us to look at other?
It does take some time from my office staff and their office staff. It does take quite a bit of time to gather up that information to go out to bid. But the majority of it is Phil Holland's time.
And they would charge us accordingly, but I don't know what that would be, Bob. And again, I mean, whatever you wanna do, we'll do. But if we go with a state plan, then we're set. We just wait for the rates to come down and then present them. When will that be? I mean, it goes into effect in January, right?
Yes, and open
Or open
enrollment
enrollment's October?
in October,
In
yes. So
October, so.
The rates, probably by the end of this week will be released. The state's rates.
Then we'll know. We'll decide according to the state rates. I don't know. I just don't wanna miss an opportunity if we got a chance to get a lower rate, but it doesn't sound like there's
I seriously doubt it,
very
because
much chance of that.
the major savings that we get from being in the state is the state administers that for us for
Right.
very, very little cost. And another company to administer that for us is generally runs between $500,000 and $800,000. And we are, if you average our premiums versus our claims as a group, we generally are about flat. We don't pay in much more premiums than we get in claims. We pretty much the same, so that 5 and 8 would come, 5 to 800,000 would be on top of whatever that we're already paying.
Do we have to decide today, Judge?
Well, since
Phil
open
Holland.
enrollment is in October, I think Phil Holland would need to know today
Yeah,
whether or not they go out to the marketplace.
because they're gonna be presenting to you all in October's meetings, options, because we've got open enrollment dates set for,
So latter part
it's
of
the
March.
Wednesday through Friday after the second meeting in October.
Well, it was clear last year that the state program was,
Oh, yeah.
It
Much.
has been for several years that the states is the best option for us.
I don't see that changing then.
I'll make a motion to continue the state, Judge.
All right, we have a motion that we will continue with the state plan. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Ah,
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We'll notify our carrier today.
Judge,
Yes.
could we skip down to expanded jurisdiction? I wanted Marty, since he's here, I wanted him to have a chance to be here to hear this. He's got to leave. for
All right,
a conference
Wendy?
call.
We'll move down into old business just for a minute for the expanded jurisdiction. We've been talking about this for some time.
Quite some time. At the last court meeting, we discussed getting Mark McAllister's testing paid for and how to do that. And we've been working alongside Jason and Jeff on a plan to do that. And so I think Jason has kind of come up with something to have him sign so that if the county does pay for his testing, that we can kind of have a contract or something along those lines. Each test is $130. There are 2 tests. Jason and I were discussing this morning about, and if he were to fail one, or, how that goes, what the county would pay for, and that kind of thing. So, I know Jason is working on that, and Marty, and trying to get something together so that we can get Mark's test, at least paid for and scheduled so he can take the first one. There are 2 tests he has to take.
And the question came up of, do we only pay for the past test, or how many times do we give him a chance to take it?
Well, I think we pay for the first one, and if he has to take it again, he would be on his own. I mean, that's just my feeling. I don't know. Let the court speak for themselves on that.
I'd say that's right, Judge. I agree with you, that's right.
I think we had talked about, if we pay for it, we wanted to get 3 years.
We've asked for that he sign a contract for 3 years.
and did we have I thought we said in a year, he need to be certified in a year? Is that true? We had a.
Well, the first step, now, I think if you remember, Kat said to get all the steps, it probably would take more.
Yes,
than
but I'm
1
talking
year.
about residential.
Just to be
first-
residential is 2
Residential is
tests.
2
Yeah,
tests.
2 tests. And we'd like to get that done in the first year,
We
yeah.
would like to, Mark and I have been kind of shooting for January, to have those first 2 tests done and over with by January. It's kind of the plan, so he can do that on his own.
Marty, is that,
We kind of mentioned this early on, and I think it'd probably be the easiest for us to manage, though, if we said we'd reimburse him. He can pay the cost of the test, and we'd reimburse him if he passed. And that way we don't have any, we haven't paid money for a failure, and I think it would be easier for us to manage it if we just agreed that he could take the test, we'd reimburse him if he passes. Now, if he don't pass, like I say, he's gonna have to keep taking it till he does pass. But I would think that would be easier for us to manage than it would be to pay for it, and then
Ahead of
if he
time.
fails it, and then he decides to go somewhere else or do something else, you know, we've got money on the hook.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, if, because we did say we'd pay for it, we'd need to rescind that other motion and do,
But you're actually paying for it, but you're advances the cost, and we reimburse it if you pay.
yeah, but that's not the way we put it in our motion. We put in our motion that we would pay for the testing. So what we'd have to do is rescind that motion and make a motion that we would reimburse him for the cost of taking and passing the test. Once he passed it, we'd reimburse it.
I'm assuming he'd be okay with that. Do you see any problem? Okay.
I spoke to Cat Spears as well, and Cat said he would even pay for him if he had to and get it going.
Get reimbursed.
You need a motion to rescind the previous
Yeah, I
motion.
think we do, and then do it the other
I make a motion to
way.
rescind our previous motion to pay for the testing.
All right, we have a motion to rescind our motion to pay for the test. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Now I'd need a motion that we will pay for the test. Once he has successfully completed and passed the test, we will then reimburse him for that.
Make a motion, Judge.
We have a motion.
Second.
Is there a second? Motion and second. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Anything else, Wendy?
No,
Okay, we're still moving forward, although slowly.
very slowly.
I'm trying to get this all worked out, but thank you all for your patience and your work. From the Junior Achievement, on behalf of the Junior Achievement Advisory Board for Marshall County, thank you for your early 2014-2015 school year investment in and support of junior achievement programs in our county. Your $500 contribution is most appreciated and will help us expand our programs across 2 whole grade levels in Marshall County schools during this upcoming school year to meet the needs of our students. Your faithful support each and every year will be so important to those efforts and will continue to strengthen us locally to better prepare our students to own their future economic success. Thank you again for your support of junior achievement. This is from Crystal Bailey, the campaign treasurer for the Marshall County Junior Achievement, and Dan Douglas, president of the Junior Achievement of West Kentucky. From MediaCom, the purpose of this letter is to inform you that on or about October 1st, MediaCom will be implementing the following rate adjustments. Regional sports surcharge, $1.87. Late fee, $8.50. Standard installation repair or reactivation fee, $49.99. Varied separate charges. This is from MediaCom. From the veterans of the Benton National Guard. Now, this is a group that were deployed during Iraqi freedom in the year 2005 to 2007. We'll be hosting a second annual reunion at the Land Between the Lakes. Last year, many local businesses and businesses across the state contributed to the 3-day event, making the first reunion a huge success among the troops, family members, and guests who participated. Anything you could do or your business can donate toward the reunion would be much appreciated. And I've we've got a number that we can reach them. If you would like to individually or contribute to this event, just get with me and we'll do that. From Baptist Health of Paducah, Baptist Health, as most of you know, has announced plans to expand to Calvert City to enhance the health of people in Marshall County. We have purchased 9.87 acres in Calvert City at exit 27 off I-24, I-69 for an outpatient health and wellness center. While the comprehensive ambulatory center is in development at that location, we will offer services at a smaller facility beginning later this fall at 4754 US Highway 62. Where is that, Lloyd?
Adjacent to the new pools, spa building right beside of
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's right on 62 there is the corridor, okay. We have awarded a $16,500 grant to Calvert City Elementary School to implement Project Fit America to fight childhood obesity and to build lifestyles to improve the next generation's health. All these developments are designed to meet the needs of Marshall County residents close to home. Our mission is to exemplify our Christian heritage of providing quality health care services by enhancing the health of the people and communities we're privileged to serve. That means we're focused on helping people to get well and stay well. This is from William A. Brown, West Regional Executive, Baptist Health of Paducah.
It's my understanding it's gonna be a three-story building.
That's kind of what it looked like in the little sketch they sent. All right, let's move into old business. You've all received the minutes of the September 2nd and September 9th meeting of the fiscal court. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of the meeting?
Have none.
If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes,
We have a
Judge.
motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. At our last meeting, we did table the issue. We were asked to participate in some signage by the Friends of Kentucky Dam Village State Resort Park. Mac, do you recall how much we asked for? Because I don't remember.
Yes, I'll give you a little background on
Okay.
that, because I think it's important for us, because we actually have a new reorganizing committee for the Friends of Kentucky Dam Village Resort Park.
Okay.
I'm the chairman, Ann Riley's secretary, Lloyd is the treasurer, and Roger Colburn is the vice president. One of the things that we've been seeking to do to reorganize ourselves is to enter into the things that we have to do, like memorandum of agreements between us as a nonprofit. We operate as a standing committee of CADA. CADA has its own 501c3 nonprofit designation, so we are operating under the auspices and under the wing of CADA as a standing committee, but we still have the ability through CADA to work with the Kentucky State Park System, the Kentucky State Park Foundation, which is important to this particular conversation, and anybody else like the city or county that we determine, if we determine trails programs or recreational programs. There's some other programs that we're actually looking at now that we're not prepared to discuss, but they will entail some interlocal cooperation between Calvert, Benton, Marshall County, and that kind of thing. So we'll be coming to you at some point in time to talk about those. But specifically relating to this request, the previous group had applied for a grant to the Kentucky State Park Foundation for trails upgrade and maintenance, approximately 2 miles, which included some upgrades of the trails themselves, but also some signage. And one of the things that was incorporated into that grant request was that we would provide in-kind contributions of labor, materials, et cetera, that would support the awarding of the grant from the Kentucky State Parks Foundation. Unfortunately, we had two things happen to the way that it kind of currently stands. One, You know, we are reorganizing ourselves, so we've got to get the new legal agreements between our committee and the foundation and the state park system, which is in process. But secondly, after the foundation had actually decided to award us the grant, we actually got an announcement in April that they were awarding us a grant of approximately $1,200 for the upgrade in the signage. The state park system, because of the rules and regulations they have pertaining to signage and trails, did not approve the in-kind contribution that we were proposing, because we were proposing to use a different kind of sign that unfortunately did not meet the regulations of the state park system. So we are now stepping back and looking at, okay, we do have a $1,200 grant. We had proposed that we match that $1,200 grant with approximately $3,000 of contributed labor, in-kind contributions, and cash, whatever combination we could come up with. So, you know, at the current moment, we're sitting here with a grant that's been awarded to us that we need to hopefully accept, but we still have to come up with our share, which is approximately $3,000. I think it's $3,023. So what we're asking to be done, and we're sending out letters announcing that we're reorganizing. We're actually talking about memberships in our organization. We're talking about, you know, talking to sponsors. We're talking more gifts and grants. But we are asking for any appropriations that, you know, that the county might feel would be important to promote the maintenance of those trails at the Kentucky State Park System. As you know, our state park system has been underfunded for a period of time, and we're trying to take some action locally that will make some visible and tangible improvements so that people will feel comfortable and feel safe about using our trail systems at the park. So in our conversations, we're basically asking the fiscal court if they would see it in their wisdom to, you know, work with us, help us with, you know, some sort of contribution that we could go back to the foundation, the Kentucky Park Foundation, and say, you know, here's our amended application, if you will. We still would like to have the grant to make the signage appropriate to fit within the regulations of the state park system, and here is our proposal. So the easiest thing for us to do, obviously, would be to ask you for $3,000, okay? But we can, you know, if the court wants to see some other things, or if they're not necessarily inclined for any sort of appropriations, then we could possibly look at in-kind contributions of labor and things like that, and any materials that might meet the standards of the state park. Lloyd can probably add a little bit more to that.
It's difficult to meet the standards of the state park without having the parks sign shop do the signs. I'd like to further, you know, clarify that the trail has been completed with mostly volunteer labor. But before the state wants the park system to sign off on the trails, I guess it's because, you know, attorneys get involved in everything, and probably somewhere else somebody got lost. But they require dimensions on these signs that are quite large. And they also will not allow you to use materials that are salt treated, or it has to be, basically it's gonna have to be a redwood sign with you know, painted. They can be painted, but you can't use, I mean, we had some very nice metal signs that were donated, and we don't quite know what to do, but they won't allow us to use those signs. And the signs, the way I understand it is, we need close to $3,000 just for the signs.
Correct.
Now, there's already been lots of work donated to put the trails there. And what I want you to understand is, there's a safety factor involved in these trails. There are no sidewalks along the streets at Kentucky Down Village State Resort Park. The trails are to get people safely from the cottages, the marina, the convention center, and to the Kentucky Down Village Village Inn.
Yeah, if you look at that, I mean, this is the main road here, so we're talking about not trails that are in the boondocks. We're talking about people moving trails that get people from you know, important centers one to the other. So we're really not talking about something that is not gonna be very used. This is gonna be well used.
It's basically what it is are park sidewalks. You know, there are trails, but it's to convey people safely from the marina, and I think the marina people are, there's been quite a bit of donation there, you know, in-kind work, and, you know, they're very interested in, they have a lot of older people there that need to be able to drive a golf cart from the marina to the village inn, you know, to the village inn. And, so, you know, one of the things that we're facing at our park is it is very, very, very poorly situated for handicap accessibility. And, you can't get Mamaw in and out of that building unless without major effort. And, that's just something that's gotta change. You know, everybody else has to do it, you know? So, and it's, you know, it became much more important to me when once I was trying to get my 88-year-old mother-in-law in and out of the park. So,
Well, and that is on our agenda as a Friends Committee, because what we discovered is that Friends Committees that have been constituted at other state parks, and virtually every other state park has a very well-functioning Friends Committee, has been able to attract funding, grants, loans, bequests, those kinds of things to help their own state park. And so that's what we're really trying to do in our new and expanded version and vision of ourselves, is to get more into making things happen through raising money, getting funding requests and those kinds of things, because it's going to be reflected immediately in things like the ADA requirements, not only for the convention, you know, center there, but also for, you know, the lodge itself, the restaurant.
A lot better handicap accessible fishing pier.
Yeah, so a lot of these things are on the table, but right now, the source of this particular request was, since we did get basically turned down by the park system in terms of what our contribution was going to be for the signage, we need to literally have the state park sign shop make those signs, and we would pay for those signs as a result of this appropriation we're asking for.
All right, you've heard the request of our Friends of the Park Committee. We tabled this at the last meeting. Any questions of the committee?
Lloyd, is this something that Calvert City is partnering on,
The
or?
mayor has told me that he was going to contribute some money to this fund.
Okay,
But, you know, to tell you the truth, you know, we're so early in our formative stages,
Right.
and we sent out letters asking people to join. Certain members of the industrial complex have joined, you know, they're gonna make a $50 contribution every year. But we have less than $500 in our checking account, you
Gotcha.
know, so we don't have the means at this time to do much of anything. I didn't, you know, I can go pin the mayor down if you want me to, but he did say that he would give us some money, so.
Well, and Kentucky Dam Village now is part of the city of Calvert.
Yes, sir.
They have annexed that area, and I'm certain it would be appropriate if we wanted to cost share with the city, each of us contributing 50% of the effort toward these signs. And that would be,
do you think they would, you sighed a little bit, do you think that would be something they
I
would
sighed
do?
because I don't know how in the world I got to be treasurer of anything. They just didn't know who they were dealing with. You know, I didn't, you know, all my conversations pretty much have been
Yeah.
off the cuff on this. There's been a whole lot going on, a lot of things, you know, surrounding these discussions. You know, how the Friends should progress, where they
Sure.
split it off from CADA, you know,
Yeah.
you know, all those types of things. So, you know, I didn't pin him down on exactly how much, but, you know, we, at a bare minimum, we're gonna need $2,000, a little over $2,000 just to, you know, from what I see, because I figure that we'll easily be able to, you know, collect, you know, on our own 1,000 or so bucks. The problem is it's so slow because You send the letter,
Yeah.
then you get, well, we're glad to do that. Would you mind sending us an invoice? Got the
Yeah.
invoice printed up, send that out. And then, oh yeah, by the way, we need a
I
W-9.
know, yeah, right,
So-
I'm familiar. Would,
so,
would it be
well,
something where we could make an offer to cost share, as the judge said, and then you go back with that offer, or would that delay you to such a point that it
Well,
puts your?
the only issue we've got, just to, you know, and this, we kind of inherited this situation, okay?
Holding a check, in other words, a check from the foundation.
That's what I was worried about, do you have a
That's already
timeline?
Right, that grant was made in April. And so we're needing to really give the foundation a genuine response about, you know, our ability to proceed, because we thought we had that all worked out. It turned out it wasn't, but that was already after the foundation had made its grant of $1,200.
And that happened, all of that happened for you or I or anyone
Right.
else who's currently on the Friends Group, you know, committee.
Yeah, okay.
You know, there wasn't any bust up or argument.
Right.
What basically it boiled down to was the original folks were really hands-on people, and they wanted to go in and park and work, which they did. They fixed the trailer. You know, they went there several times to clear it, clean it out. The park didn't even have its own lawnmowers.
I know.
Okay, so they did all this wonderful work, but then they said, you know, I'm good at this, I like this, but you know, this bookkeeping part
That you have
they
now?
don't wanna do that. And so, and I understand that, you know, because it's terribly cumbersome, you know, anybody can understand that, but it has to be done. And one of the reasons that we had to form this group with CADA was because CADA already had the legal standing
Right.
that the state could deal with. You know, that they could say, well, these people here are here, they've been here for 25 years, you know, so
But-
we, you know, that's
But I
where
think-
we got to where we are.
Yeah, I think we would be happy to go to Calvert City and just say if the
problem.
fiscal court is interested in helping, and we'd be happy to present some sort of cost sharing,
Why don't we just,
proposal
I mean, I
to them.
would move that we furnish $1,500 to this project.
Yeah.
And
That
then
would
you'll
be
have
helpful.
something to take to
That
them.
would be very helpful, and then we could go to
I'll
Calvert.
strangle something out of it. But,
If they can't, surely they can come up.
You're gonna put that in
Is
the
that your
form of
motion?
motion,
I did,
Mr.
I
Gold?
did, I
All right, we
did.
have a motion on the floor that we provide $1,500 either to Friends of the Park of CADA or CADA, which is the
If you write the check,
mechanism.
it's, write to the Calvert Area Development Association and in a memo line for Friends of the Park.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Now,
It's a
as a caveat to this, you know, I argue with the State Department of Parks more than once over the maintenance of our parks. At one time, we were known as the nation's finest. They have been underfunded to the point, or at least 8 years or more than that it's becoming awful difficult. They, first of all, there for a while, they farmed out the mowing, if you will. They did it by contract. And it was terrible. It was pitiful. And I can remember the time when our own people did all the work there at the park and kept it looking immaculate. And I'd like to see us go back to that. Not only Kentucky Dam, but Ken Lake as well. You know,
Mowing is all.
yeah, I know, and I was glad to see that because it got out of hand. But there's still so much to do in the way of just absolutely making the park look immaculate once again. And until they give the park, and I'm not being critical of our management of our parks because they play the hand that's dealt them. And until the state will start giving adequate funds to keep our parks beautiful the way they should be, I'm afraid they're depending more and more on our Friends group, and I'm not liking that at all. Our Friends group needs to be there, like Max said, to support, you know, what, some little areas that, you know, we shouldn't be having to go down there and pick up garbage on the side of the road or do things to improve the appearance. That's what they're for. We need to do those extra things, in my judgment, that make our park look more attractive, that make it more visible, for our visitors to see. That's my sermon, didn't cost you anything, let's go on. Let's move on now to interlocal agreement. How close are we to interlocal agreements, sir, on our,
Marty sent me a draft. I sent him revisions, and we're waiting on to hear back from Calvert.
all right? So we're still working on it.
Still working on it.
Harden's on board,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Is Calvin City award of that? I mean, is there any problems or?
I know that Greg was included in the email where I got the draft, and everybody was asked for input, and I sent in my revisions and suggestions for
Greg and Marty were talking just the other day, and I don't know how far along we are, but I know they were talking.
Greg, you know, those cautious lawyers out there
Second
looking
reading.
around there, so. A cautious guy, a cautious person.
No.
but
At
there's
last-
a good draft in place already, so.
At our last meeting, we had the first reading of the ordinance 2014-08, the franchise with MediaCom. You remember when we first looked at it, we decided that, some revisions had to be made, and I think they were made by our assistant county attorney. Shouldn't that be 14?
2014.
Oh, okay.
-08.
Okay, this is the second reading of 2014-08, an ordinance granting to franchise MediaCom the non-exclusive right to erect, maintain, and operate in, under, over, along, across the streets, lanes, avenues, sidewalks, alleys, bridges, highways, easements dedicated for compatible use and other public places in Marshall County, Kentucky, and the subsequent additions thereto, towers, cables, and ancillary facilities for the purpose of constructing, operating, maintaining, and repairing cable service for a period of 15 years, regulating the same and providing for the compensation. What's your pleasure on the second reading?
Make a motion, Judge.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Any other old business? Let's move into new business. From the Kentucky ASAP, this letter is to notify you of our intent to discontinue our agreement as the fiscal agent for Marshall County ASAP program. The Marshall County Health Department will accept the fiscal agent appointment as soon as possible. If you have any questions, please contact Emily Martin, County Treasurer, at 270-527-4725. As you know, Lois has resigned and is moving back east to be closer to her family, and the Marshall County Health Department will assume the responsibility for fiscal agent for the ASAP program to keep it going. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion, Judge.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. You need this or Melanie? Okay. From the Kentucky Department of Libraries and Archives, dear Judge Miller, since the term of Barbara Sloan of the Marshall County Public Library Board of Trustees will expire on October 14th, we have submitted the following names for your consideration in filling the new vacancy. Barbara Sloan, 110 Pinewood Drive, Benton, who is eligible for another term, and Karen McLeod of 3012 Main, Benton, as required by KRS 173. This appointment is to be made by you with the approval of the fiscal court. I talked to Barbara yesterday, and she would love to serve another term on the board. She is eligible to serve another term. She's been very faithful, and I would recommend Barbara Sloan to serve another term. What's your
Move-
pleasure?
That we reappoint Barbara Sloan.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Also, since the term of Jill Parker of the Marshall County Public Library Board of Trustees will expire on October 24th, we hereby submit the following names for your consideration. The new term will expire October 24th, 2018. The current board member, Jill Parker of 1010 Fraser Drive, Gilbertsville, is eligible for another term. The other name submitted was Melissa Elrod of 105 Beckhart Drive, Gilbertsville. Again, I would recommend Jill Parker to serve another term on the library board. What is your pleasure?
Make the motion, Judge.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We have an agreement letter from the Administrative Office of the Courts. This is to renew our same terms and conditions of our contract with AOC in regard to the judicial building. Is that correct?
This is for probation and parole.
For the probation and parole office in the amount of $8,600. I would recommend that there's no changes, that we renew our lease agreement with the Administrative Office of the Courts.
Make a motion, Judge.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Remember that. We have received from our Department of Rural and Municipal Aid, and this is our flex funding. As you know, I talked to you last week in the, for the supplemental funding that I signed off on and sent to Frankfurt. But this is a proposed supplemental agreement of flex funding in the amount of $263,435. It's a standard agreement made by and into by the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Rural and Municipal Aid, and the Marshall County Fiscal Court. And it goes on, it would be to the benefit of the traveling public to perform bituminous resurfacing with hot mix asphalt on various county roads, which shall hereinafter be referred to as the project. Whereas the county has expressed its desire to perform the work for the aforementioned project and be responsible for all phases of the project. Now therefore, in consideration of these premises and the mutual covenants contained herein, the parties agree as follows. The department shall be responsible for providing rural secondary funding in an amount not to exceed $263,000, $263,435. The project is performed by contract. The county shall employ only contractors pre-qualified by the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for the work items included in the project and shall comply with all legal bidding requirements, including but not limited to the provisions of KRS 45A and KRS 424. What's your pleasure?
Motion to approve, Judge.
All right, now I have to read the resolution, and then I'll ask each of you to sign it.
Second.
This is a resolution adopting and approving the execution of the rural secondary program. The agreement between the Fiscal Court and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Cabinet for Rural and Municipal Aid, and accepting all roads and streets referred to therein as being part of the county road system. Be it resolved for the Marshall County Fiscal Court that the Fiscal Court does hereby certify that all roads and streets referred to in said agreement are county roads as defined in KRS 178010, Section 1B. And the Fiscal Court does hereby ratify and adopt all statements, representations, warranties, covenants, and agreements contained in said agreement, and does hereby accept said agreement, and by such acceptance agrees to all the terms and conditions therein stated. The county judge executive of the county is hereby authorized and directed to sign said agreement as set forth on behalf of the fiscal court of Marshall County, and the county clerk of Marshall County is hereby authorized and directed to certify hereto. The vote taken on said resolution, the results being as follows. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the resolution, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. I'll send this around for everybody to sign, and we'll get it sent back in. We have advertised in the paper of record, the Tribune Courier. The Marshall County Fiscal Court is currently accepting bids for a Type 3 ambulance remount. Bidder must be QVM certified and comply with KKK-A-1822E. Sealed bids will be open September the 16th, 2014 at 9:30 in the Marshall County Courthouse. Bid specifications packets may be obtained by calling the Marshall County Ambulance Service at 270-527-1243. The fiscal court reserves the right to reject any and all bids. It looks like we have two qualified bidders. The first bid is from no, it's not. Well, we've got a bid. We don't know who it's from yet. We'll keep looking. Select Tech Inc. Select Tech Inc. They've got a bid in here somewhere. Okay, total price complete as specified, $87,059. Trade-in allowance for takeoff chassis, $1,500. Making their net bid $85,559. $85,559. This is Select Tech of Shelbyville, Tennessee. And I want you to review these before we do anything. This next bid is from St. Charles, Missouri, Lee Monster. Osage Ambulance of Lynn, Missouri. Their bid is $97,586. Trade-in allowance for takeoff chassis $1,000. Net price $96,586. $95,586. I'd like to compare these and make sure they meet all of your specifications, and we'll get back to it. While they're doing that, let's move into our animal shelter report. Our August report, animals in the pen, as of 7/31/14 was 78. Animals brought in by wardens, 21. Animals brought in by citizens, 52, for a total of 73, 33 dogs, 10 cats, 9 puppies, and 21 kittens. We have adopted out 68, none in foster care at this time. Animals reclaimed, 9. Animals euthanized, 22. Animals in the pen as of 8/31/14, 52. We have received adoption fees of $1,540. We continue to get an unusual amount of animals. I'd entertain a motion to accept the animal shelter report for the month of August.
Make that motion, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Next is our inter-fund transfer report. Emily?
I need to make a transfer from the grant fund to the general fund for $4,000. These are from a Delta Regional grant that was closed out, that the PAD office finally applied to get our funds back. We'd already awarded that. This is the admin fee from the grant. We'd already paid that, so this is just reimbursing ourselves from the grant fund to the general fund. And then from the occupational tax administrator to the jail fund, $100,000 possibly, if I don't get that check from the state for inmates before, we need to make payroll at the end of the month.
All right. You've heard the request on the inter-fund transfer report. What's your pleasure?
Motion to approve the transfer.
Second.
Motion to approve, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Funds receivable.
The end of August 31st, 2014, the sheriff's office owed $555,590.19.
Okay. And again, this is an usual amount to keep the sheriff operating. Hopefully, we'll have tax bills out October the 1st, and then when he starts getting these taxes in, he settles up, and we start all over again. It's kind of like a revolving door, isn't it, Kevin?
Pretty much.
All
Motion
right.
approved, Judge.
Have
Have a motion.
a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
As of August 31st, 2014, we had a book balance in the general fund of $462,549.75. Road fund, $944,993.47. Jail fund, $139,606.54. Grant fund, $29,516.45. 911 fund, $144,767.44. Occupational tax administrator, $2,800,405.37. Veterans van fund, $2,569.81 for a total of $4,524,408.83.
Any questions on the treasurer's report?
Motion to approve, subject to audit.
I have a motion to approve subject to audit. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We have been meeting with some folks and talking about a history museum for the county. We tried this once before, years ago, and in fact, City of Benton and the City of County, and the county and the City of Benton bought some property. And we had some interest there for a few months, and then it just died. We really are losing a lot of our history. If we had a place, I know of people that have pictures of the building of Kentucky Dam, pictures of the 37 flood, and on and on and on. and each community, there is history in each community. And the meeting will be held at 6 o'clock on October the 2nd, here in the fiscal courtroom. So if you are interested in a county museum and trying to get one started, just try to show up at the October 2nd meeting. Remember, this evening at 4:30, we are to meet at the Manchester Boy Scout Camp out near Fair Dealing. They want to show us some of the things that they're getting ready to do and improvements to make out at the Boy Scout Camp. The maintenance people have asked that we consider taking out the carpet in the back of the clerk's office where we do all the voter registration and early voting and all that. Not before the election, but after the election, and replace that with tile. The girls say it's very difficult to clean, they work very hard, and it's just, the carpet's old, it's wore out, and they would like to do that if the court does not have any objection. I guess I would need a motion.
Make a motion to replace the carpet with tile when that rain does.
All right, we have a motion that we take the old carpet out of the back office of the clerk's office and replace it with tile. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Our next meeting is, happens to coincide with fall break. And I know a lot of people have plans for fall break, and I know some of our court members, or at least one, will be out of town. Would
My
it
wife
be?
said I had
I wasn't gonna mention his name, Drew, you. But I was wondering if it'd be all right if we had one meeting in October and have it the second, or the third Tuesday, which would be our regular court day. If anything comes up, we can call the court into session. But if there's no objection, we'll have one meeting in October, and it will be the third Tuesday in October. Okay. Are you still looking?
Still coming.
Okay. All right.
Emily, we don't have anything that you need to keep us from having one meeting?
No, I will
Okay.
just send you out the state insurance rates.
Yeah, that's,
We may have to have some type of a special meeting to discuss the health insurance options
If we
did
have
any.
last year.
Yeah, like we did last year.
okay.
Yeah, because I think we talked about reviewing that health spending account that we
Yes.
did, didn't
Yeah.
we, Judge? We
Yeah.
just did that
Yeah.
for
That
1
will
year.
be the thing that, assuming we
Okay.
continue with state rates, but to review the health spending
Okay.
account and things like that, so.
You all had an opportunity to review the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
We have a motion to pay the bills. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Sign his, initial here and sign here.
Kev, you got anything?
Putting the pressure on Brian.
I've got two small things, if everybody's finished, except for Brian.
Yeah.
Here, Lisa.
Initial up there in that box. Okay.
I've got
Oh,
two
I'm
small
sorry.
things, Judge, if that's
Excuse
okay.
me. Okay, I'm sorry. I was
sorry.
I
signing
I
that.
wasn't sure if I'd have this today, but I've got a petition from residents that live in the Ridge Road, Bryansburg, Tatumsville area, and there's a pretty tall hill there. It's been dangerous for a long time, a lot of complaints, but they finally come together and petition the court. They would like to know if we would consider cutting the hill down there right as you come onto Ridge Road off of Bryansburg, Tatumsville is where it is. And we've got 24 residents that have signed a petition asking the court to consider cutting that hill down. Russell, are you familiar with where?
Yeah, it's
This-
right there at the intersection.
You've
of
looked at it
Bryansburg, Tatumsville, and Ridge Road.
I know we've had this for a while, people have complained about it. Have you gone out and looked at it to see what you think and if it's feasible and?
No, that's our old
Oh,
drive-in.
Sunset Drive,
Yeah.
okay, all right, that ended.
That's right. It's just both, really, Francisburg, Taylorsville Hill probably need to be cut down along with Ridge Road Hill. I mean, it's,
I know you've looked at it, you've been made aware of this, you feel like it's something that needs to be done?
yeah, it
Yeah.
needs to be done. It
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt.
That's a
at all.
bad blind spot right there.
Yeah,
Could we get
it's what I
a,
think, but I'm not.
Could you contact the Kentucky Department of Highways to give us, see if they would give us a cost estimate?
yeah.
Because we're talking about, we have some of the equipment, but I'm assuming you'd need some pans to,
Pro-
or would you?
It's probably not, because it's just a real short area, you know. Time a pan would start
Okay.
doing something, he'd have to stop.
Take a track, we'll take a track hoe and.
Track hoe and
trucks.
dozer would probably
Yeah. and
do.
Do
Just
it?
does
Yeah.
it.
Short distance.
Okay.
Do you need any
I know,
sort
I
of,
think I know
Could
what
you
you're
give
talking
us
about.
a cost estimate by the next court meeting, if we could get some help from, district office on giving us cost estimates? Cause
I'll turn that into
we
you.
probably have to plan ahead for this. But, you say there's two areas we really need?
Well, it'd be all the same spot, but you'd be affecting two roads.
Oh, okay.
Right there at that
Yeah,
juncture, yeah.
okay, now I understand, all right.
Be closed, too, probably.
so
All
we'll
right,
get cost
well,
estimates
we can
on
get
it.
back with us at the next meeting and see if we can have some cost estimates by then.
And the other thing, I feel like everybody's asked for stuff today, so I wasn't, usually don't have many requests, but, you know, Judge, we did, they've got the new sign going up for the Red Cross building, and the front of it needs to be painted, and, Benton City Fire Department has agreed to provide manpower, but they were asking about paint. Do we have does our special projects crew maybe have any paint? Just the front of that building is all they wanna, paint on the front of the Red Cross building there that the city's letting us use. You've seen it, it looks
Looks
like maybe
bad.
there used to be
Yeah, we can
something up there that was
Yeah.
painted.
Surely.
And I don't know, I don't think they keep any paint on hand, Commissioner. I think they buy it as need, but I'll find out.
Okay.
And it can't be that much.
I
mean,
wouldn't think it would be that much, but I thought if they were gonna provide the manpower,
Yeah,
maybe.
that we would,
What's the front surface of it look like? Is it
Yeah, it
brick?
looks like it's
Okay.
maybe over that rough concrete material or something. I don't know. You probably need those heavy duty
After
rollers.
court, get with me, I may have another source too that may be able to help
Okay.
us out on that.
They're wanting to do it Saturday morning, so I told them I'd bring it
Be that
before
quick.
the court.
well, let's put it this way, if go, settle down.
Oh, I just,
Something to say, Frank.
Aye.
I heard Frank talking to Darlene yesterday, and somebody is planning on coming with a sprayer, like a industrial sprayer. to
So
help,
have they
it won't have
found
to
some
be
paint
rolled,
then?
Apparently, I don't know about the paint, but they found the,
They've got the sprayer.
They've got
They
the
probably still
sprayer.
need the paint.
Chip it off, yeah.
so,
Okay.
no, to paint it with the
Oh,
sprayer.
oh,
So
spray
they won't
paint,
have to roll it. Okay.
All right. Why don't we put it this way, Commissioner, if our special projects crew does not have the paint, authorize them to purchase the paint. I don't even know what we're looking at, and
Harry was gonna get me how many gallons he thought he needed, but I haven't heard from him yet. I didn't wanna miss this meeting and them not have paint on Saturday if it was something you all would be willing to do, so.
well, I don't think any of us have a problem.
No, I
It's
don't.
just, I don't know how to put a dollar value on it other than say we'll provide the paint and bring us, or get the paint and bring us the bill.
Okay,
That's about the only way I know to do it. I
be
mean,
fine.
okay.
Can't be very much.
no, I wouldn't think so, Terry.
I'm sure one of our charge accounts, maybe Shoparama or something, would let us get the paint and then invoice the county. Could we do it that way? Does it matter
Yeah.
where?
Do we have a charge account there?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But at most anywhere they would get it, at Shoparama or Cashway or Color Bazaar or.
Just wherever they can get the best deal, we'll just put it like that and
Right.
just have them invoices.
All right.
All right. Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, let's, entertain a motion that we provide the paint to paint the front of the new, Red Cross, facility, the north end of Benton.
Make that motion, Judge.
Have a motion, is there a second?
second.
Motion and second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Brian, all right.
The first bid you opened, which was from Select Tech, that is a company that strictly remounts ambulances. They don't build new ambulances, they do strictly remounts. They are a company that we've used in the past. They do an excellent job. The one they did is still on the road right now. No paint issues, any sort of electrical issues or problems we've had with it. Shelbyville's just right on the other side of Nashville. It's not real difficult for us just to run it down there and have them fix anything. Their bid came in right at $11,000 cheaper than Osage. Both of these were without stretchers. So for the purchase of a stretcher with this one, it would put us right at the cost of theirs. So you're looking at a new power stretcher, roughly $13,500. So putting a new stretcher in this one would put the cost of this unit through Select Tech right at the cost of that one. So my recommendation would be to go with Select Tech because, like I said, they're a company that we've used before. We've had a lot of good luck with them. They are excellent to deal with. We can call them, say, hey, I need a light here tomorrow. They'll have it here in the morning. Real close. So like I said, if we have to run the truck down there, should we have any problem if we have to run it down there, it's right at a little over 2 hours from here. So that's kind of handy. So as I said, my recommendation would be to go with Select Tech.
You've heard the
For this remount.
recommendation of ambulance director. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion, Judge.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second that we accept the bid of Select Tech. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Any other business come before the court?
Motion adjourned.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned.